of them. Like, I was just wondering if you thought like you maybe could.
So what did you guys have to say about my paper?
A good small thing. Like short story.
Well, from a global perspective, I think that
And then I would also.
you need to be careful.
Just because like
I think the first thing that I noticed was the quotes, the length of the quotes. Some of them are very long.
Yeah.
And I think that, I mean, it's right now it's like 1,600 words or something. And it's how long is the essay supposed to be?
Between it's like 13 to 1,500 words.
Yeah, so I think you could definitely trim some of those down.
Yep.
Like focus on the more important parts of the quote, or if you want to use the full quote, try and break it up with some like sentences in between it, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Like explain it, half of it, and then introduce the other half or something. Like between paragraphs, you have some transitions in there, but some of them I think could use better like formula, sort of.
Yeah.
You know, like look at what you're going to talk about in the next paragraph, and really try and figure out how to blend them together, which is not exactly easy.
Yeah.
But I mean, conventions are some rough spots, you know, like some weird word choices or whatnot. But like that's just a matter of like figuring everything out, and, like organizing it, and then going back and doing it.
Yeah,
no sense in like spending too much time with punctuation and spelling and shit. But,
Yeah.
You know, at this point, because you're just gonna be changing it around anyways.
Yeah, I think you should really just like go through and like do like a grammar check and all of that. But then there's like a couple run-on sentences.
Oh, and then
that
I
you
did
probably
say
just like cut in half, like put a period in there somewhere, and try to like make it 2 sentences
when you
instead.
like quote something,
Yeah,
the
definitely.
period goes after the citation.
I noticed
Yeah,
that
I'm not sure though. Like that was just something like
Molly's essay,
I
like
don't
you
know.
compare
I
her
think
essay and Carver's story
I just like put that in there.
twice in different places, and I think that you could probably like take that and make it one paragraph if you wanted to do like 2 different points. But I was just thinking like with the whole you're trying to like cut down your paper, like you could just do one of the points or try to incorporate 2 of them, but make it one paragraph and like a little more condensed.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, definitely the quotes need to be trimmed down. Like, this
Quotes
quote right
take
here
up a
is like 80 words, like
What one is it?
the bottom of the 4th page. I think you know what you want to say. Just instead of like such long quotes, like quotes give the reader a sense of the story, but you're in, you know, the sense of this essay is you're arguing why,
Yeah.
you know, how all these things come together to make it. So shorter quotes with more talking about why you think that it meshes and makes sense might be better for the paper.
Definitely.
Yeah, just like more analysis instead of like just take the most important part of the quote and then just analyze like that part.
In this paragraph, the second paragraph, the introduction, you might want, I don't know, I kind of, when I wrote my draft, like, just kind of, it was like very last minute. I wasn't sure what kind of format to really use, like how to talk about things, but instead of just introducing everything and listing them off and saying like, I used these authors' works to blah blah blah, like it's pretty obvious that you're using their works, like you're integrating them, you know?
Yeah, but that's one thing I talked about as well. That's one thing I do like, and I made comments specifically on, I think it was both of yours, was having the proper introduction in the beginning of the essay allows easier transition. Once again, this is a very rough draft, but it allows more introduction. It allows for more framing during your actual body paragraphs by doing this sort of introductory paragraph.
I was just saying, like, in our last author, Billy Kiernan, in his essay titled Grandma's Pasta Dishes, about just like a brief statement about what it's actually about, you know? Because you're giving them essay titles, but you can't. All they can do is inference about what it might be about.
Well, that's a good point. But once again, if you were to go down and actually read through it, like I go to talk about, oh well, in Raymond Carver's story, he's talking to two grieving parents who just lost their son, X, Y, and Z. So that's where I kind of like. That's just an introductory paragraph. I could maybe, rather than waste my time, I see what you're saying, rather than waste my time, once again, explaining the story down here, I could sum it up in that paragraph. But I do explain the situation, each individual circumstance, I do explain it. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
It is explained. I'm not leaving them out there.
Further down.
It's just further down, because that was one of the things that I think I did for some of your comments. Was like, oh, what's going on in this? You can't, as we read in They Say, I Say, you can't always assume people have read the same information that you've read. So you got to be able to infer what, you got to be able to show what it is you're talking about.
Yeah. So I feel like you could maybe connect that back to a small good thing by
I think
saying,
the fourth paragraph,
in both scenarios, food
you kind of started out with the quote, and then you explained it afterwards.
One was like
I think maybe if you tried to explain what was going
you could
on
connect them back to the
before and then introduce the
different
quote,
in,
then it might be a little bit more easier to follow. Because just when I was reading it, I was a little confused, and then I saw the bottom, but if you just switch it up a little bit, then it might be
or like
a little bit easier to understand.
Better just because she says how
3, 4. Okay, so what are you talking about? What exactly were you talking about?
So the Boston Children's Hospital.
Yep.
That
she says how it
it's just you don't really know what's going on. You're kind of trying to figure it out through the quote, but then after the quote, you explain kind of what it is.
Yeah.
And if you did that before the quote, then I think it might have just make it a little bit more
flow smoother.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, absolutely. I see what you're saying.
On the third page, the first paragraph, it's
no, wrong one. My bad.
Yeah, the right. This one I have it on.
Yep.
It's coming together while eating cinnamon buns. You might want to extrapolate upon that. Extrapolate upon what the food did to them exactly, and why it brought them together. It's not just because it's cinnamon buns,
Yeah.
One of my
Definitely.
And then
maybe add a few more significant quotes just to make your evidence more compelling and your argument more convincing.
After talking about the cinnamon buns, something you need. I think you need more meat between before you jump right in until you talk about what Roy points out with her father.
Yeah.
It needs more analysis in there. They're really good claims and stuff. It's just it needs more analysis on your part, I think. Than
Yeah,
just
definitely.
The actual evidence and the inferences.
Oh, I also said so I don't know if you have to do this, but when you mention
I think that just sentences need to be reworded here and there,
Yeah.
Other than that, you get the good concepts. I know it's obvious what you feel and what you want to write. You should figure out how to organize it exactly.
Yeah, so I have a writing lab that I go to as well with this class, and she said that we kind of went over my essay, and she said the same exact thing. She's like, I see the information here and I understand it, but it's kind of shittily organized.
Yeah.
So she's like, just you gotta, change some stuff around with it, reword it, add some more context to it, add some more meat to it, and then it'd be good. But
Yeah, just clean it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Your work's exciting.
And going from military writing to college fundamental essay writing is definitely quite a jump. Different ball game, I'm guessing.
Definitely.
Yeah, it is.
So I think the best thing that I'm getting from you guys is definitely shortening in order to save a little bit of space, shorten some of my quotes, get to the meat and potatoes of the quote itself.
Because that space is really valuable considering you can only have 1,500 words, when you're on there.
it's taking up a lot of space. It's
Yeah,
having like
those
50, 60 word quotes.
If you broke them down, then you could have another 200 words to mess around with and play with.
Yeah, and
Some
actually,
sentences can be deleted. Just make sure you keep that focus. Like it needs to be broad but also narrow. If that makes sense.
no, absolutely.
Like choose what you want, what you think, and then use all the broad sources to divulge on it.
Mm-hmm.
Be proud of that word.
Another thing, so like I don't know, cause like so when I started, because we used the same like by Juliette Roy, I wasn't sure if like, cause in mine
I wasn't
just
like
said the new error, but you include like
expecting that. Like I knew we were going to
Like, when
change
I, like,
draft,
sat
but I
down
wasn't
to write it, and I
like
went to,
so
like,
I didn't do
edit
my
it, I was,
normal
like,
spell check on it. Like again,
Yeah.
I was so focused on the writing it and getting my
I wasn't
thoughts and
sure
ideas
because,
down that
Yeah.
I type really
I
fast.
looked
And
it
I
up
got
really
ADD,
quick.
so my fingers type faster than what my brain can go. So I wasn't like there's a lot of grammatical.
I wouldn't. The draft I gave you guys, I wouldn't even pass in like a 6th grade English teacher. It was like.
Once again, even with these comments, like I said, you gotta don't think critically about them, but not too critically, like too harsh or whatever. I'm just kind of going through some of your guys'.
Are those basically all your body paragraphs?
It's hard.
So,
like,
what do you guys think about my biggest thing? I was kind of having a hard time with. What do you guys think about my thesis? What would you, if you were to read over it, what would you say would be like? You're like, oh, okay, that's his thesis statement. Like, what? Out of curiosity, because I think my thesis is weak. What do you guys think?
I think it could be a little more specific.
I feel like the only thing like
you could
that
try to
would,
like pinpoint
well, like
exactly
obviously like adding more analysis
what
with like the
you think it
and then
does
just like
to have
connecting
people
that
bond, or
second
like
body paragraph back to a small just like make it long.
add in a little bit more
But then
to
other
it.
like
You know?
I feel
Yeah.
like you have solid.
You
like,
say like for some reason people come together and food is always
I don't really
involved.
think you need like another.
I mean, like, I guess, like, I would try and narrow that even. Like, it's they don't like what is the some reason? Like when something happens, when something food is always there for people to come back to. It's always
Yeah.
there for them to be together and
What would you
bond
like
over.
work on?
Yeah, because like,
I think that I know what you want. I know what you're thinking,
yeah.
and if you can put it onto the paper, it's gonna be better than it is now.
Yeah. Like to me, like what I was trying to really hit at is kind of like this last sentence in there. I go, it's easy to see how different different kinds of food can surround different types of emotions and correspond with different types of event. And then I didn't quite finish the sentence, but it's like if used as a tool, like, and then I kind of use.
I wouldn't even like the hammer analogy. I don't think it's used as a tool. I think it's used as more like almost like a crutch. It's not like you do it. It's just kind of there,
Well, I mean, so that's what I was trying to I was trying to compare. Like, okay, I use an example up here. Use it for birthdays, death, and then I want to give an example in my. But that's one thing I talked to Professor Miller about last class. Was like, okay, I'm gonna actually make that example at the bottom of the essay about food as well. I'm gonna reword it to make the example about food, so it's better, more relatable to the story rather than you see what I'm saying? Like, because the hammer is like just this object.
I feel like it's more of a subconscious thing, the food, in a way. I don't know, it depends what angle you want to take at it. Like the birth and birthday, I see how it's like, it's a tool that people use to bring people together, but also when like mourning someone or like in sadness when you're eating food, it's not like I'm gonna eat this to feel better. It's like sitting down and eating it too.
It's a way, but once again, it's kind of how you approach it, and I see what you're saying. Like, I always kind of approach it, you bring a casserole, you're using it as a tool, you're gathering to mourn, celebrate, do whatever, the death of a loved one, a friend, whatever the case may be. You're gathering people together, and there's food, and it's being used as a tool during the gathering to, like, for instance, like, one of the examples that I use of this is, I think it was Billy's story about how, they don't make his grandmother's pasta dishes that often, but when they do, it's especially meaningful to them because there's a void, but they use it like a tool for the family. Like, it's a way of remembering his grandmother,
So just right where you, like, in the beginning, I like how you say share a lot in common. Whether you're from wherever, you have to do the food. I think you could use a sentence instead of, like, not instead of, but in addition or instead of, talking about why food is always there there and how people apply it and why it's
Okay.
like sort of like.
Here we go. I'm gonna pause.
We also have a problem. Nourish ourselves. That was the part.